Hello, Rabbanit Shira.
Shalom, Rabbanit Hamutal.
So what would you do if someone would knock on your door on Shabbat afternoon and say, listen, my kid just fell off the swing, and I think he might have broken his arm, but I'm not sure. Should I go to the hospital or not?
So it's not a hypothetical question. It happens a lot.
Every other Shabbat.
And, again, when in a community of young families and everyone is playing around, Baruch Hashem, so it's something that happens. So the first thing that I would say is, in our neighborhood, Baruch Hashem, there are so many people that are medics. It could be nurses or doctors or whatever it is, the MADA volunteers. So ask someone, is it broken? Is it something that needs doctor's attention? Is it something that I need to take for an x-ray? Because I'm not a doctor. So I wouldn't ask the medical question to me. But then halachically, I would say, if he's saying that it's something that needs medical attention, of course, you mechalel Shabbat and you go and you take your doctor to the hospital. That's one thing. Second thing I would say, with kids, it's always more sensitive. And we're always worried about kids that they don't know how to express themselves, how to say how exactly they fell off the swing, maybe he hit his head, maybe something has happened to him, and we don't know. And that's why with kids, we'll always say halachically, take extra precaution and make sure that you're not just saying, oh, he's fine, whatever, he's going to be okay, and don't do anything about it. But you take extra precaution, even if it means to drive on Shabbat to go to the hospital. And the third thing that I would say is, Baruch Hashem, a lot of people today in our neighborhood has hybridic cars, and they have cars that are electric, and they drive on electric and not on fuel, and it's much easier on Shabbat. So I would say, ask a friend who's a doctor or a nurse, see what happened to your kid, and ask your friend who has an electric car, and it's easier to go to the hospital.
So we're not confused. We're still in Masechet Avodah Zarah, but this week we're talking about medicine in Shabbat and with non-Jews doctors. And when the Gemara is saying, are you allowed to go to the doctor or not? The Gemara is saying, wait a second. Let's talk about Shabbat. And I think it's a good topic to talk about. When are you allowed to break Shabbat, lechalel Shabbat, in order to treat an illness, a disease, or something that happened to you that day? And what is considered dangerous in terms of break Shabbat, go to the hospital, go grind yourself some medications, whatever it is that you need. And it's interesting to see that this is what they knew about medicine. Very little. They didn't have x-rays or CTs, and they sometimes knew that they don't know. Meaning, makah shel halal is what they define as something internally that happened, and you don't exactly know what happened.
Because they don't really see it, but they realize that all the internal organs are something is going on there, and it might be dangerous.
Exactly. So, in Daf Kafchet Amud Aleph, Amar Rav Zutra bar Tuvia, Amar Rav, Kol Maka Tzricha Omed, you need to estimate how bad is it.
You need to diagnose.
Exactly.
The first thing is to diagnose.
מחללים עליה את השבת. אמר רב שמן בר אבא, אמר רבי יוחנן, והי איש תצמירתא כמכה של חלל דמי ומחללים עליה את השבת. If you're burning hot, and you have fever, very high fever, you should know it's dangerous and break Shabbat, do whatever you need in order to treat the patient.
Usually they would boil water or put him in a bath or try to lower the body temperature.
Exactly.
So they're saying this risky situation is similar to makah shel halal.
And they're very, very concerned about eye infections and when they have toothache, because they understand that it might develop into something worse or an infection altogether. And they have different criteria than the one that we have today.
So I think in a world that they don't know chaydakim, they don't know bacteria, they don't know antibiotics, they understand that if you have a very sore toothache, it can develop into
very dangerous.
Something dangerous that can affect the whole body, that can affect your life, but they don't really understand how it's happening, but they know that it's dangerous.
Right. So the Rambam in Ilchot Shabbat is saying that these are the things that you should lechalel Shabbat on. חולה שיש בו סכנה, he's in danger, עושים לו כל צרכיו בשבת. Whatever he needs on Shabbat is allowed, על פי רופא אומן של אותו מקום. Like you said, you go to the doctor next door and you ask him, is he in danger or not? And this is what you do. ספק שהוא צריך לחלל עליו את השבת. What happens if you don't have a doctor? What happens if you're not sure? What happens if there are two different doctors? One says it's dangerous, the other is like, it's fine.
Whatever.
You do break Shabbat, you do everything that you need for that patient.
So we have the obvious cases, which are the people that are in danger. Of course, you're breaking Shabbat for them. You have the obvious cases to the other side. If someone have a sore tummy or a headache, you wouldn't lechalel Shabbat on them because you'll say, okay, make yourself a cup of tea, go to sleep, lie down, maybe don't go to shul, maybe try to rest, but you're not going to start, boiling water for them or driving them to the hospital because it's just an ache. But then in the middle, we have all the things that we are worried about that are in question, that we have a doubt about them.
Right.
So the Shulchan Aruch is saying, מי שיש לו מיחוש בעלמא, מיחוש בעלמא is just a pain, some sort
small
of
headache or something.
כן, והוא מתחזק והולך כבריא, אסור לעשות לו שום רפואה. If you're getting stronger, you're in the process of getting better, you're healing, so there's no need to break Shabbat for you. מי שיש לו חולי של סכנה, מצווה לחלל עליו שבת. If you are sick,
Heart attack.
and it's a danger, so it's not just allowed, but it's a mitzvah to do it, and it's a mitzvah to do it fast and quickly. And the Shulchan Aruch is going to there and saying, if you're starting to ask questions in times of someone in danger, then you're a fool, and it's like you're killing him, and you have to do it as quickly as you can. Great. So these are the two sides that we're sure. But then in the middle we have כל מכה של חלל, דהיינו, מהשיניים ולפנים, meaning everything that is from the inside,
internal.
like from the mouth and inside into the body, into the internal organs, שיניים עצמם בכלל, מחללים עליה את השבת. So we will break Shabbat if we have internal injuries. דווקא שנתקלקל אחד מהאיברים הפנימיים, מחמת מכה. If חס וחלילה someone got a very serious bruise that is hurting his inside or internal organs, then it's something that you would break Shabbat, even though that they didn't really understand how is it risking his life. They understand that it's something that is dangerous, and therefore you're risking, you don't want to risk his life, and you're breaking Shabbat in order to save him.
So let's summarize. First of all, kids, we're going to be more cautious about them. And
halachically we'll say that they are chole sheyesh bo sakana.
Yeah, even if they're mildly sick, we're going to take it up a notch because we're more concerned about kids. 2, ask a doctor or a nurse. And 3, if there's a doubt, go.
Okay.
Don't wait.
And be healthy.
Be healthy. Shavua tov.
Shavua tov.